Hey, how's it going? Okay, so we are on the third video of parting the wild horse's mane. So the first one, just to review a little bit, remember the first one we were working on just doing the hand motions and getting comfortable with being able to do that either side. So that was our first video. The second video, we got more into the posture. We talked about the front stance. Remember the front stance, the hips and the shoulders are moving straight ahead, right in line with that leg. We have an open space here, so we're not on a tightrope, we're on a railroad track. And we're throwing the frisbee, serving the hors d'oeuvres, and patting the dog. So remember that. So today we're going to start moving. So this is going to be where we're going to integrate the walking, parting the wild horse's mane, walking. I'm going to do it coming forward, and then I'll do it from the side, and then let's break it down. So here we go. Okay, so that is the walking, parting the wild horse's mane. So let's break that down, and let's just start with the feet. And just we're going to learn the dance, how to move with the movement and with shifting the balance on the feet. When I first started studying Tai Chi Chuan, this kind of movement just fascinated me. And as a kid, I used to have a pet that was a stick insect. And a stick insect, it kind of moves back and forth, has this very strange, it looks like it's taking one step back, one step forward. Had this very strange motion, but it was fascinating and beautiful. And I noticed that there was the same kind of movement involved when people are doing their Tai Chi Chuan form. So I was like, how are they doing that? So I'm going to show you how that happens in the form. So we start out in our front stance, okay? Let's say we've just parted the wild horse's mane. So here we are. This is at the end of our second lesson. So let's get rid of the hands for a minute, and let's just focus on the feet. So I want you to imagine that someone is grabbing your belt and pulling you back. Now I'm going to have the camera flipped around, so when I talk about I'm going to raise my right hand, you should be able to raise your right hand mirroring me, so it should be perfect. So you're not always trying to think, I have to do the opposite of what he does. So here we go. So my left foot is forward, my right foot is back. So imagine someone grabbing you, pulling you back. Okay? So we're in our front stance. Somebody's grabbing your belt and pulling you back. So notice when I get pulled back, my toe comes up. My left toe is coming up. So what I'm going to do is let that left toe fall to the left, and then when I move my weight back into the left foot, now my toe is over here. So front stance, pull the weight back, turning, and then moving forward. One more time. I'm in a front stance, somebody grabs me from the belt, I pull back, let my left leg go to the left, and then I move weight into my left. I go into a T-step, and then I step out into a front stance and turn and lock myself into a front stance again, okay? Let's break that down real slow. So, I'm being pulled back. My left foot is going to the side. I pour the weight into my left. I go into a T-step. The T-step, all of my weight is on my left foot. Right foot is super light. Then I step out with that right foot. I plant the heel, line up the foot, and then I turn. Remember my lasers right now? Look where they are. We know the front stance, right? They have to be in accordance with that foot. So I'm going to turn those lasers so that everything is lined up. Let's try it one more time. Here we are. Pulls the weight back. Left foot turns to the left. I go into a T-step. All the weight is in my left foot, nice and heavy. I step out with the right foot, plant the heel, line up that foot, and now turn into a front stance again. Okay, so notice when I'm turning, my hips are turning. I'm able to turn because I am spinning on that back foot. If you could imagine that I put a nail through this foot, through the meaty part of the front of my foot here, and this foot is spinning around on that nail, that's the effect that I want. So as I'm turning from here, my hips are turning, I'm turning from the quad, and this back foot is turning at the same time. It's spinning on that nail. Okay? Sorry, got a little bit of traffic here today. Let's do this again. Here we go. Front stance, left foot is forward. Grab that belt, pull it back. Turn out to the left. Bring my weight into the left foot, T-step. Step out, plant the heel, line up the foot. Line up the shoulders and the hips and pivot on that foot. The quad should feel nice, like you've pinched your right quad here. That's for the next lecture we're gonna do. Okay? So that's that. Let's do it one more time. Left foot forward, pull back, turn out, step out, line ourselves up. Let's keep going. Pull back. Now the right foot turns over. T-step. Now the right foot is feeling very heavy. We step out, plant the left foot, line up the left foot, and turn. Here we go again. Let me do it from this side now. Weight pulls back, right foot turns out. I pour the weight into the right foot is very heavy. That allows me to step out with the left, plant the left heel, line up the foot. Now let's straighten out the shoulders by pivoting on that foot. Excellent. Now let's do it again. Pull back, left foot turns in, T-step, step out, line up, and straighten up. Pull back, right. All the weight goes into the right, step out, line it up, pivot, front stance. So we're always ending up back into the front stance. Hopefully that makes sense. So let's talk about this transition move that I'm doing. From here, I pull back, I go into that T-step, and then I'm going out to here. So this, see how I'm making like a little V? okay? So that's one way to do it. When I was showing the examples, I was showing the V, and I was also doing it where I just stepped out. I didn't even make a V form. I just stepped through. Now that's more advanced because I know exactly where my foot should be, but the V, you start this V, it's first on this line, you come in, and you want to end the V that it's back on the line it started with. So that way you know exactly how far out you have to step. A lot of times when people just start learning this step, where they're just stepping right through, they will usually start out by stepping too short. And then when you turn out, you're going to be all wobbly. So it's good just to start as you're doing it. You come back. See, I'm making that little V, and then stepping out, straightening out. The V. You can also make a U. Comes around and turn. See the U now? So from here, pulling back, I'm making a U shape. Doesn't matter. What you want to do is make sure that this foot is very heavy, and then the back foot that's coming out is light. And it's getting out far enough to when you turn into your front stance, you're not going to end up being like this. Hopefully that makes sense. So you have this V shape we can do. We come in, we step out and turn. You have a U shape you could do. Turn. You can drag the foot even. There's a lot of especially for the Yang form, there's a lot of schools where they drag the foot around. I mean, I guess that's okay. I don't really get too caught up in little techniques like that. If you're able to move energy within your body, then you do what works best for you. If you've trained your whole life to drag that foot around, then that, more power to you. And then, of course, you have where you just step right through. That way I know how far I've got to step. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so now we're going to bring the hands into this. Let's forget about the legs for a while, give them a break. So from our parting the wild horse's mane, we threw the frisbee, we patted the dog. Let's say that we're here with our left foot forward, okay? Forget about the legs. So what we're going to do, that frisbee got thrown out, so that frisbee comes up, and then we grab, and then we throw. Now this is the frisbee hand, and the left is the dog hand. Then the frisbee hand turns up, grab, throw. Frisbee hand turns over. So you see, this is very much like the first exercise I had you guys do. So you could become familiar with doing this on both sides. And this is all that you're doing is from exercise 1. This is why I really suggest that you go back to 1. You work on that one until you feel very comfortable with those movements. So it's just second nature to you. Then do number 2 and now go on to number 3. So this for you should not be a mind-blowing step. You should already have a very good sense of how to do that, okay? So now what I want you to remember though, so we just parted that wild horse's mane. We're going to come up. I'm going to hold the ball here. Then I part the wild horse's mane. Remember, the frisbee hand is always on the top. Now I'm holding the ball again, parting the wild horse's mane, holding the ball again, parting the wild horse's mane. Okay, now let's bring it together with the feet and the arms. Here we go. As we're parting the wild horse's mane, we pull back, still hold it, and then as we go, we pour that weight into the left foot. I go ahead, I'm doing my T-step, and grab my ball. Then I step out, I align myself up, I don't move the arms yet, then I release. Now I'm parting the wild horse's mane. See that? I pull the weight back. I grab my ball as I shift my weight into that right foot. I step out, I don't move the hands yet, plant the foot, and then parting the wild horse's mane. One more. Here, I'm gonna fall on my butt here, great. Step out. Okay, let me try it from over here. So I'm doing my left side, parting the wild horse's mane. So I pull back. My belt is pulled back, still holding the hands. Then I sink the weight into the left foot. I make my little T-step. Then I hold the ball here. So now my weight should be all on that left foot. I step out with the right, plant the heel, plant the foot, hold the hands, and now release everything. Pivot on your toe, throw your frisbee and pat your dog. Good. Pull back. Shift the weight forward, grab your ball, T-step. Step out, plant the foot, release it, release it, release it, pivot, straighten up, front stance. You should always be in a nice front stance when you're done. Pull the weight back. So when you're in a T-step, you should be holding the ball. Step forward, and then release. So that's basically it, believe it or not. We can go through this a few times. We'll do it while we're doing our the V shape. Step out, V. And step out. Let's do it from this side. What the heck? Here we go. Back. Now I'm going to step straight through. Back. Straight through. Straight through. But I always end up in a nice front stance. Front stance meaning, again, my shoulders are pointing forward with the hips. They're aligned up with that front foot. Back leg 45 degrees. Nice and squared out. Yes. So I think that's about it. Yeah, I think we're all good to go. Okay. So anyway, the next video, we're going to get a little bit into the energetics of it. What's happening, how we start releasing energy, and how we start to mobilize the Jin as we're doing this. All right, guys. Have a great day. Take care. Bye.